Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Ahlan wa sahlan, guys. My name is Liaquat. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. We are going through Mukhtasar al-Qudoori. This is the book that we have been going through for years now. Inshallah, we're almost halfway through the book. All right, so let's explain the words then. So, iftaraqa, it means to separate. Right, so separate. And then duyun, debts. A lot of these words again. You guys know them. Rabiha, to profit. Mudarib, entrepreneur. Ajbarahu is to coerce, to force. Iqtida is to pay. And duyun, debts. Lam yalzam, not necessary. You got halaka, to perish. Ra's mal, we know that. Daman, compensation. Iqtasama, to divide. Again, a lot of these words, you should know these. Ba'dahu, some taradda is they give back to one another. Give back. And then you have it's from taradda yataraddu taraddiyan. Right? So some tafa'ul. Tafa'ul. Ra dal dal. Ra dal dal. Bainahuma. Again, like I said, a lot of these words are going to be straightforward for you guys, inshallah ta'ala. Yastawfi is to fulfill, is to receive in full. Fadl is excess, extra. And then iqtasama, we've done that. Fasakha is to nullify. Aqada, both make a contract. Dual, okay, times 2. And then naqad, immediate cash. Nasi'a, credit. Okay, yuzawwij, to marry off, etc. Alright, let's have a look now at. Let's have a look at the tarkeeb. Tarkeeb, guys. You tarkeeb lovers out there. وَإِذَا افترقا, so افترقا is fail file, and it's times 2. Alright. فِي الْمَالِ دُيُونٌ, so دُيُونٌ is going to be the مبتدا مؤخر, خبر مقدم. وقد ربح المضارب is فعل فاعل. فيه أجبره الحاكم فعل فاعل على اقتضاء الديون إن لم يكن في المال ربح, so ربح is the اسم of يكن. لم يلزم هو الاقتضاء, this is the فاعل. ويقال له وكل, this is أمر. وكل يوكل توكيل, to make someone your agent. رب المال في الاقتضاء وما هلك من مال المضاربة فهو من الربح دون رأس المال. So دون, again, let me know in the comments why دون is فتحة. وإذا زاد الهالك على الربح فلا ضمان لا نفي الجنس على المضارب فيه وإن كان times 2 قد اقتسم times 2 الربح مفعول به والمضاربة مبتدأ بحالها ثم هلك المال كله تأكيد أو بعضه تأكيد again عطف تراد, so this is times 2 الربح حتى يستوفي رب المال رأس المال. فإن فاضوا له بشيء كان بينهما وإن عجز عن رأس المال لم يضمن المضارب وإن كان قد اقتسم الربح, so this is مفعول به فعل فاعل. وفسخ المضاربة مفعول به again. ثم عقداها فهلك المال كله, again this is تأكيد. لم يتراد الربح مفعول به الأول. ويجوز للمضارب أن يبيع بالنقد والنسيئة ويزوج عبدا ولا يزوج عبدا ولا أمة من مال المضاربة. Right, so what is this mas'ala talking about? Okay, let's try to explain this now. So إذا افترقا, so let's say for example there is a Rabbul Mal here. Okay, so this is Rabbul Mal and this is the Mudarib. This is the entrepreneur, Mudarib. And they've both ended their contracts. They've voided it, right? They mutually agreed to finish the contract. So they've voided the contract, right? So it's over now, finished. Now they have been doing a contract. So for example, let's say the Rabbul Mal invested £1,000. They were doing business. They bought some stuff and So he's given that money to him, and this guy has gone and bought and sold things, and he's obviously profited, and there's also some debts involved as well, right? So let's say, for example, he's profited, he's made £200 in profit, and also he's got £100 debt. Okay, so profit and debt. That's on top of everything else. So 1,000 plus the profit minus the debt. So he says, إذا افترقا, when both parties separate, وفي المال ديون, and in the wealth there's some debt, £100, وقد ربح المضارب فيها, and the مضارب has profited, so there's some profit there. أجبره الحاكم على اقتضاء الديون. The judge is going to say to the مضارب, look, you've got to pay off the debts. You voided the contract, but you need to pay off the debts before you can go ahead with anything else. All right, so this is if there is a debt. So the judge will actually say to him, all right, so let's draw the judge over here, Judge Saab. Judge Saab is going to say, well, you've got to pay off the debt. All right, debt has to be paid off. All right, what if there is no rib? So this was in the scenario, there's a rib, 1,000, okay, plus the 200, plus the 100. وَإِن لَمْ يَكُنْ فِي الْمَالِ رِبْحٌ. Yeah, if there is no rib in this, if there is no profit in this, then what's going to happen? So let's say, for example, in this case, لَمْ يَكُنْ فِي الْمَالِ رِبْحٌ. So what's happened is, let's say, for instance, there is no profit. So 1,000, let's do it this way. I think it's going to be easier. Right, this is the mudarib, and he has actually no profit at all. So there's £1,000 that was invested originally, and there's also a minus. So let's say, for example, there's £500 debts. So they haven't made no profit at all. Right. So in this case, what's going to happen? The mudarib will not have to pay this, because remember, he is basically like an employee. He's like a worker. He doesn't really have any cash. So what's going to happen is, in lam yakun fil mali rib, there's no rib, and there is a debt. Lam yalzam hu al iqtida. The mudarib does not have to pay back. Iqtida yaqtadi, to pay back. However, because he was the one that incurred the debt, now he's out of the picture. He has to, obviously, the debt has to be given to the creditors. So these are the creditors. These are the guys that want the money. So he wants 250 and he wants 250. So this guy is basically going to tell the Rabbul Mal, you have to now pay the debt. You are the wakil on my behalf. You're the wakil on my behalf, and you've got to pay it off. So this guy is going to have to pay off each one of these now. Okay, so he says, وَيُقَالُ لَهُ, and it will be said to him, the judge will say to him, Judge Saab is going to say to him, وَكِّلْ رَبَّ الْمَالِ, make the Rabb al-Mal your wakil, fil iqtida, in paying off the debts that you incurred. Now the reason he has to make someone his wakil is because he was the one that contracted originally between these two, and he is the one that has to deal with it. So in court, the Rabbul Mal has nothing to do with it. But in order for the other guys to get paid off, and because the contract has now become void over, someone's got to pay, and the mudarib doesn't have a penny, so it's going to go back to the Rabbul Mal. The Rabbul Mal has to pay from his 1,000 investment. He's going to have to give them. Okay, make sense? Right, next. Let's look at the next masala then. All right, next masala now. This is to do with something perishing. Okay, so what happens if mal perishes? So ma halaka, whatever gets destroyed from mal al-mudarabati, fahuwa min al-ribhi duna ra's al-mal. Anything that gets destroyed, first of all, you reduce it from the. So let's say, for example, this is the Rabbul Mal, and this is the mudarib. Okay, so Rabbul Mal, mudarib, and it was done on £1,000. Okay, and let's say, for example, he's given the money to him. He's gone and bought, let's say, a house, and there's floods and the house got damaged. So now, where is the money going to come from? So let's say, for example, I don't know, they've actually made some money, right? So he's buying and selling houses. So he's got that 1,000. He invested 1,000. That's the original 1,000. Plus he's made, let's say, 2,000 on top of that. Yeah, 2,000 profit. So this is profit. So now the house got damaged. That was part of the investment as well. And let's say the damage in the house has now cost, let's say, 1,500 damage. All right, so let's write damage there. So in this case, what's going to happen? So the money 1,500 is actually going to come out the profit first of all. First of all, you take as much as you can out the profit. And then after that, if there's no more profit left, then you eat into the capital. That's basically the rule that you have. Okay, so وَإِذَا زَادَ وَمَا هَلَكَ وَمَا هَلَكَ, and whatever gets destroyed from the mal al-mudarabati فَهُوَ مِنَ الرِّبْحِ. First of all, you take it out from the ribh. دُونَ رَأْسِ الْمَال, and not the capital. وَإِذَا زَادَ الْهَالِكَ عَلَى الرِّبْحِ. Now let's say, for example, that's a house, 1,500. But let's say on top of that, he also has, I don't know, let's say he has a car. It's supposed to be a car, yeah? Don't get jealous, guys. Right, so this is a car, and the car damage is, let's say, I don't know, £1,000. All right. So if you take 1,500 from there, you're left with 1,100, 500. Yeah. And then if you take the 1,000 out from there, that's obviously going to eat into 500 from the profit, right? Because remember, that's 1,000 from the capital and 500 from the profit. So it's going to eat up into this 500 plus 500 from there. Yeah, so look. إذا زاد الحالك على الربح فلا ضمان على المضارب فيه. The mudarib has no compensation he has to pay. Because remember, he was basically just doing a job. That's all he was doing. So he is not responsible for this. This is going to get eaten from that. Right? So it's going to get eaten up from the 500 there and then the 500 there. So the Rabbul Mal will be left with 500 from his original investment. Make sense? Okay, right. I keep saying it makes sense as though you guys are right in front of me. But, I'm sure you guys are going to be nodding your head saying, yes, stars, makes sense, makes sense. Okay, in kana, next masla. In kana قد اقتسم الربح والمضاربة بحاله. Now, let's say they've done their business now. So this is the Rabbul Mal and this is the Mudarib. Okay, they've done their business, right? They have profited. So let's say original investment was 1,000, right? He gave that to him and he's invested it and he's actually made 1,000. So it's the same 1,000 plus on top of that, they've made £2,000. Let's say 2,000. Okay, this is profit. And then what they did was they divided the profit. So profits now, so let's say 1,000 goes to him and 1,000 goes to him. Right, so 1K, 1K. And remember, this 1,000 actually belongs to the Rabbul Mal. So he says, in kana qad iqtasama, if they have divided the ribh. Remember, the contract is not over. Wal mudarabatu bihaliha, the mudaraba is still active. Right, the contract is still going on. ثم هلك المال كله. Then what happened is the mal got destroyed. How did the mal get destroyed? So let's say, for example, they've still got, let's say, a car. Okay, still got this car, and this car has got destroyed now. So either all of it got destroyed, or a little bit of it. So let's say, how much is the car worth? Let's say the car is worth £2,000. Right, so it's worth £2,000. So either all of it got destroyed, £2,000 worth, or let's say 500 got destroyed, whichever one we want to take. So he says, oh, so all of it gets destroyed, gone, or ba'dahu, some of it, tarad darib. Now, because the contract is still going on, they have to put that money back now. That money, that 1,000 that they took out, they have to now, the dividends, they have to put them back in. Hatta yastawfiya rabbul mali ra'sal mal. So that the Rabbul Mal can get his original money back. Now, in this case, no problem, because if we take 1,000 back, there's still the original 1,000. Remember, it's 3,000 altogether, isn't it? Yeah. But let's say, for instance, the amount that got destroyed, let's say it was a house, and let's say it was, I don't know, it was, actually, we'll leave that one there. Right? So we'll leave this one there. So remember, they're going to take this 2,000 out from here, isn't it? Right? So this 2,000, so that means there's no capital left. All the capital has been used up, gone, khalas. So they have to put the money back in order to make the capital. So he's going to put 500 back in. 500. He's going to put 500 back in to make up the original capital, because we want the capital to be topped up first and foremostly. That's why he's saying yastawfiya, so the Rabbul Mal can get his 1,000 back at least, and they can keep the rest. Okay. So they put the money back, they make up that, but then there's 500 left, isn't there? So if I do it in a different color, so they put the 1,000 back, right? So let's say, okay, so they put 1,000 back in now. Once the 1,000 has gone back in, he doesn't have 1,000 anymore. He doesn't have 1,000 anymore, right? So 1,000, 1k plus 1k, right? They've paid off the car. Yeah, they paid off so the car has been paid off with that 1,000. That's gone now, right? So 1,000 from there has gone, and obviously from this 1,000 has to go as well. So they'll take 500 out from here. They'll take 500 out from here, and then that will go towards this to pay off this. So that's 1,000, and that's done. And now they've only got 500 left now. 500, 500. Okay. Now that is going to be used to top up the Ra'sul Mal. Okay. That's going to be used to top up Ra'sul Mal. Khalas. So there's no profit now. But let's say the amount was, the car was worth, I don't know, 1,000. Right. So let's say it was, how much? 1,000. 1,000. So if the car was worth 1,000, in that case, then obviously that money has been used up. 1,000 has gone, right? And now that 500 has been used to top up the Ra'sul Mal. So ultimately, this is what we have now. So we have 1,000 has been topped up. This is the capital. Okay, that's done. Fine. And how much is left now? So what's left is 500, 500, because 1,000 was used, because altogether we have 3,000. So 1,000 is used on the car. And now we have 500 plus 500. So now we can give that 500 back to this guy now, and 500 back to that guy. Does that make sense? So basically what you do, whatever damages are incurred, you put the profit back in, you pay off all the damages, you top up the Rabbul Mal again, and then whatever's left, if there's anything left, you distribute it. And that's what he's saying over here. فَإِن فَضُلَ in فَضُلَ بِشَيْءٍ, if anything is left, كَانَ بَيْنَهُمَا, then that is distributed back to them. Okay. This is, so, I apologize guys. It's got very messy over here. Proper messy over here. Now, you know me, I'm not normally this messy, but, sometimes these things happen. Right. What if they can't top up the Ra'sul Mal? Right. So this is the business. Rabbul Mal, Mudarib. And they can't top up. So he's invested 1,000 into the business. This guy's bought a car. Yeah. He's taken the 1,000. He's added to it 2,000 profit. Car's now got damaged. Right. He's got to pay that. And the car's worth, let's say, 3,000. Okay. Now in that, obviously the profits that they had taken out, 1k each, will both have to be put back in the kitty, and plus the Ra'sul. All of this is going to go towards paying off for the car, and there's nothing left. Right. So the point is that what if there's nothing left? وَإِنْ عَجَزَ عَنْ رَأْسِ الْمَالِ لَمْ يَضْمَنْ. If he is incapable of topping up the Ra'sul Mal, the Mudarib does not have to pay any compensation here. He's not responsible. So let's say the car was worth 5,000, right? Then obviously the Rabbul Mal would have to cough it up from his own pocket. Okay, next masala. وَإِنْ كَانَ قَدْ اِقْتَسَمَ الرِّبْحِ. So let's say, for example, so we've done 3 scenarios over here so far. One scenario is that they voided the contract, this one over here. One scenario is they haven't voided the contract, this one over here, and also this one over here. And the third scenario is, what if they have distributed the money and they've also ended the contract? Yeah, so let's try to fit it over here. So they've voided the contract. So this is Rabbul Mal, this is the Mudarib. And void there. And they've also taken their profits, 1k each. Right? They voided the contract, money's gone back in, and it's over. So he says, إِن كَانَ قَدْ اِقْتَسَمَ, if they have distributed the rib between themselves, وَفَسَخَ الْمُضَارَبَ, and ended the mudaraba, ثُمَّ أَقَدَهَا, now they've done a new contract now. So this is now a new, so this was contract number 1, let's call it. Now they've done contract number 2 now, in the next month. right? So this is the second contract. And in this contract, they've incurred some problems. Can they use the money from the first contract to supplement this one, to compensate for this one? No, they can't. Yeah, that's basically it. فَهَلَكَ الْمَالِ, so in this one, the mal gets destroyed. كُلُّهُ, or some of it. لَمْ يَتَرَادَّ الرِّبْحَ الْأَوَّلِ, they can't take the first ribh and put it back in because there's two different contracts. خلاص. All right? Okay. وَيَجُوزُ لِلْمُضَارِبِ أَنْ يَبِيعَ بِالنَّقْدِ وَالنَّسِيئَةِ. The mudarib is allowed to buy, so mudarib, he's actually allowed to buy things with cash, meaning immediate. He can buy things with credits. This is general rules. He's not allowed to marry off a slave. Yeah, so if he's got a slave, he can't marry off the slave with that money. He's not allowed to. From there. So these are the three things. He can do cash, credit, and he can't marry off. خلاص. So وَيَجُوزُ لِلْمُضَارِبِ, it's permissible for the mudarib to sell with cash and credit. وَلَا يُزَوِّجْ, he cannot marry off his slave or slave woman from the mal mudaraba. He can't use that. From his own pocket, it's fine. خلاص. Everyone understand this? Okay, let's just see if you guys have understood this. Okay, question number 1. If the two parties separate and they have made profit, right? So the two parties, they separate, they void the contract, and they've made a profit. What's going to happen about debts? So let's say there's a debt incurred. So the judge will force the mudarib to pay the debt if there's a rib. What if, yes, there is no rib, there's no profit? Then the mudarib is not compelled to do anything except to make the Rabbul Mal his wakil to pay off the people. Okay, what if the mal gets destroyed, the mudaraba mal gets destroyed, and there is profit, and it's still going on, the contract is still going on? Yeah, what's going to happen in this situation? You deduct it from the rib awalan. First of all, you take it from the rib, and then anything else after that, right? From the Ra'sul Mal. And if it goes over the Ra'sul Mal, if it exceeds, then the mudarib is not responsible. Okay, what if they've divided the profits and the mal gets destroyed, car gets destroyed, and they've got to pay for it? What happens? Then they have to return the profits, pay off for the car, and top up the Ra'sul Mal, the capital. Okay, what if it's more than that? Right, what if it's more than that? If it's more than that, then the mudarib is not responsible again. Okay, what if they divide the money between themselves after they have voided the contract, nullified the contract? Then what happens in this case? So in this case, they don't have to put the money back together from the first contract that they did. Khalas. Alright guys, Jazakumullah khair. Thank you very much. I hope you guys enjoyed Mudaraba. Hope it makes sense to you guys. Let me know what you guys think of this. May Allah bless all of you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. And guys, if you can do a kind thing for me, please, if you can hit the like, subscribe, and share my videos with people you think are going to benefit from me. And also, if you want to support my channel, I would be really happy if you could support my channel on a monthly basis. You know, like my beautiful patrons who support the channel, the work that I do helps me a lot, and it's a sadaqah jariyah. And imagine, you know, we could complete the entire book or even many books, and people could be studying and learning from this, and we get loads of reward for it. So if you are interested in that, please check out the description below, or you can email me, and inshallah I can explain to you how it works. Alright guys, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.